Guess what? We finally made it to the middle of summer. This summer has been very wet compared to the spring, which was very dry. Now, even though we've been getting plenty of rain, the times that when we didn't get the rain, it would be hot and humid, and it seemed like the ground would be depleted of moisture very quickly. So the ground would be dried, even though we would get rain, say, for example, the last in the last 2 days. So it's just been interesting. And I have seen a lot of leaching of nutrients. So I don't know what it's going to be later on. I did fertilize the container plants and the edibles. Otherwise, the other plants, they are just um, there to fend for themselves. And we'll see how the soil would be looking like by the end of fall. We'll see what we could do. I know that by putting in mulch would definitely help them going into next year. So anyway, today I would like to take you around the different garden beds. We have lots of plants that are looking very lush, looking very full still loving life. But there are some plants that are ready to say goodbye for the season. They're ready to go to sleep. And a handful of plants have died or are dying, unfortunately. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the first garden bed, also known as the community garden, which I share with my neighbor. And let's highlight this plant. This is Arrowwood Viburnum. And you can see that it is putting on berries already. This is the All That Glitters variety. This is the only Arrowwood Viburnum that is in the garden. The other one that I have that is a viburnum would be the Chinese Snowball Viburnum. So anyway, it is looking very beautiful. The leaves look clean. Still a lot of lushness in this garden bed. We have the Jubilation Gardenias. There are a couple of them that you can see. There's one that's hidden on the other side of the lemongrass. Still looking very pretty. The lemongrass is a beast right now. This was one that came back from last year. Lots of lemongrasses, I would say 90% of them came back from last year. Behind it is the Chinese Snowball Viburnum. It's looking very lush. I do not see, actually I do see, there are several bloom buds showing already. All right, so here you can see the yucca. It's just existing. Just existing. So in the summer garden right now, you either have plants that are thriving, existing, or dying. So I would say this is existing. It's ready to say goodbye, even though it is it is an evergreen in my garden. You can see that it's in clusters. So you have different plants. After it blooms, it tends to die back. So I just need to either get rid of this plant, remove it completely, or just remove it and just have the new plants come up. So it is a love and hate relationship that I have with the yucca. Irises, they're ready to say goodbye too. They're just existing right now. So we got, that was a burgundy color. That was a gift. And then this is my neighbor's iris. This is a yellow one. Overall, this garden is looking really good. All right, so this is the Japanese court garden. It's also in the very main front of our property here. Looking very lush. Everything just looks really nice. So this is called Japanese court, and I wanted it to be that way because I love Japanese maple. So I'm gonna point. The second to the last one is not part of the Japanese court, but from this angle, it does look like it, right? Yeah. So this is our biggest one on the left. Second biggest one on the right. So from afar, it looks almost like a spring garden, but you can tell that there is some stress going on. You don't get that nice fresh growth look. But still, this summer has given us plenty of moisture, plenty of rain, which plants really love. This is the Hydrangea tardiva. This is a panicle hydrangea. This is the most blooms that it has produced. Very nice. Anyway, these could look better, but they're not. I would say they're kind of in between existing and thriving. Oak leaf hydrangeas, they're looking good. Of course, they're ready for the fall, ready to change color. You can see the bloom heads. Most of them have already browned. Let's walk in farther. I do not know if I mentioned this in the last garden tour, but as you can see, these taro containers have been moved here. I wanted to put these here so they could create impact in this front space because it looked like it was missing something because all the plants, the leaves seem to be either medium texture or fine texture, so needed something with bold texture, and I thought those guys would be the perfect plant to be in this location around here. Now, they do get full sun, which they do not like in this garden. They prefer partial sun or partial shade. That means you have to be on top of watering. They do take up lots of nutrients and lots of moisture. So I could be watering them every day and they could still look like this. So they would do so much better in a more shadier spot. But I wanted to try it out. I wanted them to be here to serve as a bowl interest element. That's what I wanted to say. Yes. So they are serving as a bowl interest element in this front garden, part of our Japanese court. We will talk about the hostas in its separate video, but they don't look bad, but I know that they're struggling. Plants that are looking really good, I would say, have to be that Rose Creek Abelia. It loves the heat. What also loves the heat are the edibles. So we got basil. I think this is either lime or lemon basil. There are the peppers there, cayenne and jalapeno, mixed in together, and they look really nice, very lush. You can see that there are peppers already ready to be harvested, and I want to say I've harvested 2 to 3 times this season already. Below we see the Veronica. They are looking so good too. I mean, the blooms could be cut back. This is actually their second or third flush of blooms. But you can see how beautiful the foliage still looks. So these were actually divisions in the spring, and I have a perfect spot for some of them to go to during the fall for next year. So excited about that. The weeping Japanese maples, or all the Japanese maples, could do better. There, you can see the tips are crispy. That tells you that the summer heat here has been pretty intense for them to have leaf burn like that, especially for the weeping ones, the ones that have dissected leaves, because they can tolerate more heat. So let's look at this spot. I don't know what to call this garden space. If you have a name for it, please let me know. I was thinking of calling it Paver Patio Garden because that's our Paver Patio area right there. Or the Pencil Holly Garden because we have a line of Japanese pencil holly. So coming here, you can see that Clematis is ready to say goodbye. It's just existing right now. Back there you have the Fairy Blush Magnolia, and it is looking so good, so lush. Japanese pencil hollies, they were pruned back recently at the tips. They don't look bad. I would say this is as good as they look. Maybe not as good as during the spring. But yeah, they have put on some good size. Amsonia Hubrichtii are still looking so good. You can see that the seed pods have gotten more color. So I think they were started off as light green, I believe, and now they're more orange looking. And then we got Thai eggplant. There is only one plant this year. And then look at this beast. This is what we call pea eggplant. You get clusters of like grape-like fruits. So you can see that there are some coming along already. These just need to get bigger. And we have different clusters of blooms in various places. So I am impressed with how tall this plant is. I would say at the tallest, which is right there, probably 7 feet. All right, let's back up and go to this side. You can see that the moss looks really good. Really pretty still. It is one of the plants in the garden that gets noticed by visitors. So I'm very happy about that. So next to it, we have the Heuchera, Dolce Wildberry Heuchera. I feel it's existing right now. So are the ferns. They should look good at this time of the season, but mine do not because they are getting too much sun. Too much direct sunlight. Okay, these are the Dusty Millers. They don't look bad. That one is more leggy. Not looking bad at all. Still lush. All right, let's move on. What should we call this part of the garden? So we have gravel, finally finished for now with the gravel. And then added those cinder blocks, and those cinder blocks really help to make the space look so much better. We are lucky to get them for free. And let's back up a little bit. This is the last part that needs to be worked on to get this whole paver patio area, this whole front garden area to look complete. So you can see, not looking too good. It is an eyesore. but this is progress. No weeds growing from the cardboard right now. Here we have Gardenias, Sunshine Ligustrum. Ahead of you is Radiance Abelia. I think that's Hotheads or something, Arborvitae. We got this Loquot tree. It always looks good, I think. Always putting on new foliage, but doesn't do anything, has not flowered. I don't think I'll ever get fruits. Let's look at the side garden here. It is a very, very narrow garden, and you will notice that we have those beautiful autumn joy sedums. Look at how big they have gotten. The bloom heads have gotten so much bigger. Look at these guys. They have not opened up yet. So they are here to serve as a hedge. There is one on the other side of that lemongrass that you cannot see. And in between, you have the blue star juniper. All right, so here at the Berm garden, a lot of the plants, the ground covers are looking so good still. So I would consider them looking very lush. Now they're not as lush and green as they were during the spring. I don't know if you recalled, but these different clumps of sedums, purchased them on clearance either at Lowe's or Home Depot. Divided them into 3 different clumps, maybe 4, but I think maybe the other one did not survive, or I just moved it to some other spot. I don't remember. It's been a lot of things going on. So look at how big this clump is. This is creeping thyme. We got 3 different clumps. That one is a new plant to me. This is Salvia Gregii, something like that. So this was just recently planted. Since we have been getting lots of rain, I figure, hey, why not? It is doing good. New to me plant. We'll see how it does for next year. And look at this, what is that plant? Pomegranate. Yes, pomegranate. It is looking so lush. So lush, no blooms, no fruits ever. This has been moved to various spots, and I think it likes this spot the best. So we will see, hoping to get maybe at least some flowers for this year, but I don't know when it actually flowers. So we'll just see. I'll just be surprised if they, when they do come up, if and when, I should say. I believe this is an annual salvia. I think it should come back. I don't know. I don't know if it's a true annual, but bought this at a local plant sale, and I love the color of the flowers. That's why it was purchased. It's pretty. So let's cross our fingers that this will come back next year. At least produce little babies somewhere, like it would reseed itself as well. And ice plant, it's looking really nice. It could be cut back, but I've not been doing anything. It's a fairly new plant for me too. I don't really know all that well what needs to be done, but you can see that there are dead spots all around there. So I just know that they need to be cut back, but otherwise it is looking very lush still. Let's move on to our pollinator garden. Decided to go ahead and put up this sign. It says bloom where you are planted. I think it was on sale at Walmart last year, so I grabbed a couple of them. There's the other sedum, you see. Not as big because it is being infringed on or upon by this lemongrass. All right, so just an overview from this angle. Let's look at this spot first. The gardenias, these are single bloom gardenias. They have flushed back really nicely. I did a video on me pruning these guys back because they got infested with those white flies. Like the leaves would be dark and nasty looking. Anyway, they are doing so much better. Look at that, a lot more clean. And look at the sugar tip rose of Sharon. It's looking beautiful, more blooms. So I did not know this, but our hummingbirds, and I think we always have a couple of them, our hummingbirds love that plant. I did not know it was a hummingbird attractor until I accidentally caught it on camera during, I think, during one of the videos recently. So yesterday I was around here and caught another hummingbird. I did see two, but was able to capture one on camera. So I'll put it up for you to see. It was just so magical whenever you see a hummingbird in the garden. Now, I do not feed hummingbirds. I don't have any feeders. I don't have any nectar. I don't have anything. The only thing I have for wildlife would be the water or the bird bath for water. Otherwise, they are to fend for themselves. They do get a lot of food from this garden, from the ground, from the plants. So they're not, I know they're not starving for food here. This year I did see a yellow bird, which was exciting. This is Japanese cedar, which I rarely talk about, but it's doing its thing. It's very nice. It serves as a vertical interest in this part of the garden. And last year I saw different praying mantis egg sacs over here. So it's just nice to see that. So yeah, have not pruned it back. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've ever pruned this back at all. I should, because there's some weird looking growth on the side there. Anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful plant. It's been here, I believe, since 2022, 2021, 2022, something like that. All right, so overall, the pollinator garden's looking really good. Except, as you can see, the echinacea does not look good, but leaving the blooms there for color and for pollinators. Not many pollinators right now. Yucca is not looking so good. Wanted to show you this. So this zinnia, this tall zinnia came up from seed, and it's looking so beautiful. It's not as floppy as the ones you're going to see later. The reason that is because it has other plants around to support it. So going forward, this is something I would like to, be looking forward to or just be mindful of. So if I do see a seedling that comes up, and if I think that it doesn't have the support that it needs, I might just, well, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna might. I'm going to move it to a space that's going to get the support that it needs, so it's not going to be so floppy. So this is a nice space for it to be at, and it's looking so beautiful next to the Gara. And surprisingly, I have more pink Garas than I thought. So there are at least two plants here, and one that's underneath the rosemary there. And the rosemary, all three of them are looking so good as well. In another video, I mentioned that I did not buy any zinnia. I just realized that I did buy these three, the pink ones. They look like hot pink, right? Because I do not have any hot pink ones, so wanted to start having these. So hopefully these will reseed themselves as well as the white ones here. So this year only saw one white one that came up, which is unfortunate because I love these. They serve as an attractive ground cover. So this space is looking more filled in. The English thyme. There are several plants here. These were transplanted in the spring sometime, and they are filling up this space really nicely. And I think by next year, this time, they should fill up the space by a lot. And speaking of plants that are existing earlier, the lamb's ears are not looking so good this year. You can see the yellowing and the browning. And then if we come to the right, look at that one. That one has died, has melted away. So that's because of the combination of wet days and hot days. So that's what happens to your lamb's ears. They don't like it too wet, and they don't like it too hot either. And where I have them, they're in full sun. So they would do so much better in part sun. Again, I cannot express enough how beautiful the autumn joy sedum is looking with the lemongrasses. The lemongrasses, this is their time to shine. When we get the heat, they come out and play. They love it. And look at the Thai basils. They love the heat too. They look really good. I should say maybe they don't love the heat as much. You can tell that they are stressing because of the bloom heads, right? So the bloom heads usually don't come out unless they're in some kind of stress because they want to produce seeds. But regardless, they're still, they're green, they're full. Later on, we'll look at several of them at the hillside garden that are very lush and very full. So anyway, let me give you a look at the view from this angle. Does not just look so pretty? And I'm not saying this because it's my garden. It's just, I don't know, it's just something about this time of the year, and of course in the spring too, with our nice wet summer. It's making the garden look more lush, at least from afar. So, when you look up close, it's not going to look as good with some plants. Like this one here, this is Tennessee coneflower, and it's ready to say goodbye. I could cut it back, and there's a tall weed popping up. Yeah, so those need to be cut back. Or you could leave the bloom heads for the birds. I don't think I have birds eating on those, actually. Not, at least not in my garden. They probably have other things that they are excited about compared to those. More lamb's ears, not doing so hot. Look at this weed. It is able to come through all that growth. Yeah, so that needs to be pulled out. So lamb's ears do a good job with blocking out weeds, but of course, if you have the right kind of weeds, even with a lot of coverage like this, they will find a way to come up. So it's not bulletproof. I guess that's more of something to say. Yeah, nothing is 100% guarantee, right? Not lemongrass, rosemary looking really good. Of course, the coreopsis, they're ready to say goodbye. They're ready to change color for the fall and then just die back. No more blooms for the most part. But they're still, they're still looking pretty lush from afar, like that. All right, so just in case we have to do a part 2, I will go ahead and say goodbye for now for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found some of it helpful. If you are new here, my name is Terry. Welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you for coming back. So until the next video or the next part, I hope you take care. Bye for now.